Leeds United versus Aston Villa in a friendly match, which was a wonderful thing. And as a little child, it was very exciting to be able to just go down the road and watch the Villa play. But on the way, we parked up, and on the way in, there were these two men who walked down with us, and my friend's dad just started talking to them. And it was just, your general chit-chat, slightly cheesy chit-chat about how excited he is to come and see the game and all this. And what he didn't realise was he was talking to two Aston Villa players, and me and my friend were like... And we got through the ticket barrier, and returned to my friend's dad. He's like, "Do you know who you were talking to?" And he was just like, "No." And it was like Gareth Barry and Aaron Lescott. And he was like, "Okay." They were youngsters at the time, so people didn't really know who they were. But me and my friend, we were gobsmacked because he didn't have a clue who he was just talking to. And this story that we've just heard in the Bible always reminds me of that moment. These two people walking on the road to Emmaus and just chatting to Jesus, not realising who he was, chatting to him about what's happened to him, as if he didn't know. It must have been one of those moments, and when they realised, it must have been like a big shock. And it just always reminds me of that story. And for us now, just we've got a couple of slides for us to look at. The first one is this little challenge for us. If you know Where's Wally, for your little books where you go and seek Wally, we've got a different version where you got to try and find Jesus. Now, I don't know how easy it's going to be on the screen, but I know where Jesus is, but we'll see if any of the children get it first, and then any adults... we do have a laser pointer somewhere. I don't know where it's gone. But if anyone thinks they found... I'll give you a clue. He has got a little, halo. Just in case any of them could be Jesus. Has anyone think they've got him? No? It's quite tricky because he's quite small. Do you need a clue? He is in the bottom half of the picture. It's much easier when I'm looking at this on my laptop screen, like a metre in front of me. Anyone? Yeah? Any children found him? Oh, yeah? As in, there? Yeah? No? I mean, that is. Where? Where were you pointing? Over this way? Up there? No, he's not there. Good try. I gave you a clue, but I just jumped. Do you see him now? I've got a few yeses. I think you all want me to move on now. It was a trick. Initially, it was really obvious where Jesus was because they gave him a massive shiny halo, so I had to reduce it down. So we got another slide. This isn't a challenge now, but this is a little sort of optical illusion type thing for us to do. So if you go on to our next slide. Here we go. You may have seen this before, you may not. So what you've got to do, you see the little 4 dots in the middle of the picture. You have to stare very hard at those 4 dots for about 10 seconds. So I'll count to 10 whilst you're staring, and then you close your eyes. And in theory, you then see a picture in your thing. But it didn't work for me, but it does work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now close your eyes. Did that work for people? Yeah, I'm getting some nods. Did it work for everybody? Is it just me who it doesn't work for? Wonderful. And so we'll go on to the next one. This is just another one. Now, what you've got is random black sort of characters, random shapes. Looks a bit like maybe different languages. What do you see? Some people see Jesus. Do you all see Jesus? No. You need to look at the white if you want to see Jesus. He's in between the lines. Yeah, I think we got a few. Right. That's the end of the excitement now. If we go on to the next slide, just back onto the meeting Jesus slide. So I showed you those things. It's a bit of a fun way to get the idea about sort of seeing Jesus, meeting Jesus, maybe in the unexpected. Like in the first picture, there was the sense of you had to seek Jesus, had to go and find him. You knew he was there, but you weren't quite sure where. And so you had to go look for him and find him. And that's sometimes how we have to find Jesus. We have to make an active effort to go and see him. And we can do that by sometimes coming to church, maybe by reading Bible, maybe by praying. There's all sorts of ways we can find him, but we make that effort, and that's quite often how some people will find Jesus. And then on the next one, you got the picture of Jesus, which you then see. And then again, sometimes you just got to be looking for Jesus. And sometimes he will reveal himself to you. And then that's what that's a bit like when you close your eyes and you suddenly get this picture of Jesus. And you hear stories of people who come to know Jesus Christ. They're like, I met him in a dream. Or sometimes you hear people who have been in like comas and things like that, and they say, I met Jesus. And they come out of it, and then they go and live their life for Jesus. And then the last one, the optical illusion, sometimes you've got to read between the lines to see what's going on. Well, there's all these things that happen in our world today, all this chaos, all these things going on, and you're sort of like, well, how can there be Jesus? How can there be God in all of this? But actually, if you look between the lines, you start to see actually that there does seem to be a pattern in this world. There does seem to be an order. Maybe there is a God, and actually Jesus is active in the world. And just like those people on the road to Emmaus, sometimes we find ourselves, we don't see Jesus, even though he is there before our very eyes. We don't recognize him. We don't see him. But actually Jesus is there. And he's not just there 2,000 years ago. He's there today for us. And he wants us to find him, wants us to see him. And he's just ready and waiting for us to turn to him and to accept him and to realize he is there, just like in that moment. And when we do realize Jesus, it's a moment of joy, just as we saw in the story. They sort of celebrated when they realized he was Jesus. It was a great time, a great moment, and that's for us too. And that's what I wanted to say. Like, we can meet Jesus today. We can encounter him. He is active and alive. He is there in the world, even if this world feels like chaos to you, even if you struggle with this world, whatever it may be, even if you're in great times and you're just a bit like, oh, this is great, I don't need anything. Actually, Jesus is there if you want to seek him, you want to find him. And if that is you today, I just want to say we've got Bibles which we can give away, free Bibles, completely free. If after the service you're like, actually, I would like a Bible just to go and read, to learn more about this Jesus you're talking about, then please speak to me after the service and I will freely and happily give you a Bible to take away with you, and it's yours to keep. So that's that. So we'll go on in our